we just made new friends. All of the airline people were like, you have a camera. And they were like, give us your Instagram, give us your YouTube. So thank you to them. It was very sweet of them. They were very kind. They're going to give us some tips on some of their own countries for when we get to go there. So very exciting. And yeah, now we're going to go through security.
Security almost every time on this trip.
Every time. One was a water mistake, and the other one was like, other two were like random checks.
Just random check.
Every time.
But I feel bad for her because I know how it feels. Because normally my bag gets
I
pulled.
don't even have a camera this time. Well, kind of. Not really, but don't really have a camera.
Yeah, and that's why I've started like taking my camera out of the bag and putting it in a completely separate bin. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason I didn't get pulled this time. So unfortunately we couldn't get much footage in the lounge because it was prohibited from filming, but I did sneak a video of the pancake maker. They had an automated pancake maker, which I am super excited about. Would love to have one of those in my house. So this is definitely the older part of the airport, because as soon as we walk in, it completely changed. But I think it's because we're international, technically, because going from Scotland to Ireland is technically an international flight because we are entering the EU. So we'll probably have to do passport control when we get there. Unfortunately, we were all the way at the wrong end of the airport, so we had to walk all the way back to gate 1 from gate 29. Don't know if you guys can hear us, but it's very windy. Hopefully it won't be too cold as we get there. We actually got both of our bags, Kayla. That's a first.
And we got them quick.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so we made it, and now our next step here is to find tickets for the airport express bus. I think we have to take the 784 in order to get to our hotel, but we're getting there super early, so our hope is just to be able to do a baggage drop. All right, we got our tickets, and we're going to get on the bus here in hopefully a few seconds, but there's a lot of people in this line, and I'm pretty sure they gave us a ticket to the next bus coming, not necessarily the correct bus.
We'll see.
So we might have a long walk,
Yeah.
but I think we're still making it to the city center. On to the bus we go. Well, long story long, they put us on the wrong bus and then told us to get off at the wrong stop. So we had to walk extra far in order to get to our hotel. Probably about double the distance if we would have taken the right bus that was indicated by my phone. But I think that bus was pulling up and the guy didn't want to issue us a ticket while he was trying to help load that bus, which is a little bit frustrating because he was already helping us. He could have just spent like half a second and just let us tap our card. It's all good. And then the other guy gave us poor advice when he was like, oh, take 782 and get off at Quay, which was wrong as well.
It's good ramen. Kind of reminds me of Japan. I miss Japan. We were at a place called Ninja Sushi, I believe, and it was really good. Recommend it for a quick lunch stop. And now we're going to try to figure out what we're going to do for the afternoon. We're going to do the Puka Festival, which is a Halloween festival. But it's a little vague on how to get there and what it actually entails. And it's a 2-hour public transit ride each way. So we're a little nervous to spend 4 hours on a bus for this festival. So we might do it tomorrow, but we'll reevaluate later tonight. And we're going to spend the rest of the day here in Dublin doing some fun stuff. All right, let's figure out our next stop.
All right, so we now have our tickets for the Book of Kells, and we are gonna go check in. Our appointment is 1 o'clock. I don't think it should be a problem. It's about 10 or 15 minutes from now, so really bright out. And I bet you
Yeah, it's super bright out.
camera's struggling.
In case you don't know, the Book of Kells is a 1,200-year-old book. It's basically like a recountenance of the gospel, so like the New Testament of the Bible, and with like lots of illustrations. It was really a ceremonial book. It wasn't really used in daily use at all, but they have that in there, and they also have like a copy of it. The library itself is undergoing a restoration right now, so they decanted like over 200,000 books so far, and they basically vacuumed them, cleaned them, measured them, cataloged them, and now transferred them to a climate controlled area for storage. They are still accessible where they are. I don't know where they are though. And the library will be going under renovations to help improve the fire safety, because that is a problem. It hasn't really been renovated since like the 1800s.
It's all wood. It's all like paper books, like very flammable, which is why they're concerned about like fire, which is very reasonable.
Yeah. So that's a really quick like recap of what we just did, and now we're headed to chapter 2, which is like the pavilion, which I don't really actually know what that is, but we'll find out. And
I've been told it's a digital experience.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we'll find out.
Yeah.
But it was included with our tickets. I tried to only book this part of it, but those were sold out.
Yeah.
So we had to pay a little bit extra to go to both of these.
It's like £5 extra, I think, so each.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not pounds. Euros.
Whoops, where are we?
Wrong country. Also, we probably should mention we are in Ireland, and this is our 16th country that we've been in together.
You all talk of yourselves. I have come to conclusions about the purpose of our presence here. It seems to me that all of us have added something to human history and culture.
Welcome to the Dublin Castle, or Palace, whatever it is. So we just finished our tour of the palace. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a newer building compared to a lot of the castles that we've been through recently. It was built in the 1600s. I mean,
It's been upgraded a few times
been
since then.
upgraded a few times for sure.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot more modern, a lot nicer. And they also have a good amount of artworks in there. I don't know if they're original because they honestly look like their colors are too vibrant for them to be originals.
Who knows?
But
They
it
might
is possible.
they
It might just be,
restored.
yeah, like very professionally restored, but they look amazing.
Yeah. But now we are going to go to St. Patrick's Cathedral, check it out. And then we are going to head up to the Temple Bar district to walk around there, maybe grab coffee if we see something. And then we're going to head back to the hotel for a little bit so that we can check in and get into our room. We might come back out later. So that's our plan. And we'll bring you with us.
All right. This church is incredible. Like the detail in absolutely everything is unbelievable.
It's St. Patrick. This might have been the kids' station, but that's fine.
Well, that was St. Patrick's Cathedral. It's very impressive. It was extremely ornate. It's probably one of the most ornate cathedrals I've seen. That's probably because most of the cathedrals in the rest of like mainland Europe have been destroyed as part of World War II. But this one seems to be relatively well off. We're going to try to go to Marsh's library, which is like a famous, I think it's like a bookstore, or one of the oldest libraries in Ireland. This is most definitely the restricted section. It's off limits for first years. Okay, so that was Marsh's library, and it's one of the oldest public libraries here.
It's the first public library in Ireland.
Yes, so yeah, it's the oldest public library here in Ireland, and also the first public library here in Ireland. I'm sure that there was other libraries, but they probably weren't accessible to members of the general public. Also, there's fireworks showing off behind us. If you can hear them, I think that they're doing some sort of celebration for Halloween.
It's very picturesque, very
Phenomenal.
It's awesome. I would go. I would take your pictures.
Yeah, this is definitely like a off the beaten path, like a more unique place. It's just like maybe, what would you say, like quarter of a mile away from St. Patrick's Cathedral?
Not even. It's like 0.1.
It's like 0.1 miles, like very short distance walk, but it's definitely off the beaten path. I think most people would not find this library if you didn't know that it was there. We happened to look up some more unique places here in Dublin, and that was on the list, so I highly recommend if you are interested in libraries or anything like that, this is a great stop for you. Alright, I think that is going to be it for today's vlog. If you made it this far into the vlog, we appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to see you back around on our channel. And also, feel free to comment about anything that you saw today. If you have any questions about Dublin or our flight from Edinburgh. Unfortunately, there were some restrictions on filming, and since we were sitting in the first row, we weren't allowed to use my camera, which I don't know, that was just surprising to me. That was a new one, but they asked us not to use the camera in the front row. They specifically said that I can't have my camera out on takeoff and landing, which unfortunately is like the most important part of the flight, which I always want to capture that. But they asked us not to have cameras in our hands when we were in takeoff and landing, since it was an exit row. So unfortunately for us, didn't get much footage of that. Also, in a few other places in Dublin, there's some limitations on filming, but most other places, they were okay with it. Just so you know, if you're coming to Dublin and expecting to film or vlog, there is definitely some more rules here than we previously expected, especially revolving around specifically filming. Like, photography is allowed, but filming is not. Other than that, hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'd definitely like to see you subscribe to our channel, and we will talk to you on the next one. Oh, and I forgot to mention, today we were trying to go to the Puka festival, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too difficult for us to get there today, especially right after the airport. So we're going to try to do that tomorrow. It may be somewhat difficult for us to actually get there, because in trying to look up some of the directions and information about it, we couldn't find much information online about whether to take a bus or the train. The other question that we have is also about tickets. Now online, it doesn't specifically say that certain parts are free, but there seems to be only tickets for certain acts or certain artists. So unfortunately, we're not going to be 100% sure what we're getting into tomorrow, but it'll be an adventure either way. All right, we'll see you on the next one.